What's up, guys? Welcome to the Playbook Sports Podcast. Coming at you with another video today. As you've seen from our previous few videos, we have a new series out, NFL Scripts 2023-2024 season, brought to you by Roger Goodell himself. These are his words, not ours. Not ours. So if you have a problem with them, go holler at Raj for us. With great power comes great responsibility. As you know, Roger Goodell is the judge, jury, and executioner of the NFL. However, he did not trust all of us to have all of these scripts individually, so he's divvied up the 8 divisions amongst the 4 of us guys here on this podcast. He's given me the AFC South and the AFC East. So before we dive into this series and these divisions, Nate, let the people know who this podcast and this video today is brought to you by.
I want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, starting with Gold Fine and Bowles, Lawyers for the Injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their 2 things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PlaybookSports on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video.
Thanks, Nate. As you guys can see by the title of this video, we are going to be talking about the Buffalo Bills and what Roger Goodell and the NFL have scripted for your Buffalo Bills for the 2023-2024 NFL season. Let's start at the end and see how the Bills got there. I'm impatient. I like to see the end result and then go back and see the journey that got you to the end result. End result, Roger Goodell has the Bills finishing 12-5 this season, finishing 4-2 in the division, making the playoffs, winning the division, being the 2 seed in the AFC playoffs. He also has 2 awards this year for the Buffalo Bills. Roger Goodell does not believe in the Madden curse. He has Josh Allen winning his first NFL MVP in his career, leading the Bills to the 2 seed and the AFC East Division title. He also has a second award for the Bills. This one seems way too fitting. Comeback Player of the Year, DeMar Hamlin, in the secondary for the Buffalo Bills. I'd probably agree with both of those awards. Those both seem very, very realistic for this NFL season. Let's look at who the Bills play at home versus who they play on the road this season, as well as they have 1 neutral site game as well. Home opponents this season for the Bills, they will host the Vegas Raiders, they will host the New York Giants, they will host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they will host the Denver Broncos, the Dallas Cowboys, and the 3 opponents in the AFC East, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots. On the road, they have the Washington football team. Yes, I will forever call them the football team since they went to that name. They don't deserve to have a different name. On the road, they play the Washington football team, the Cleveland Bengals, and a game from last year that had a lot of headlines to it. The Eagles game on the road as well. Kansas City Chiefs on the road. LA Chargers on the road. Jets, Patriots, Dolphins on the road as well. Yikes. Compared to looking back at the Jacksonville Jaguars video I did over, they are like flipped. The Jaguars have all their tough opponents at home, it appears, and the Buffalo Bills have almost all of their tough opponents on the road this season, going to Cincinnati, to Philly, to LA, to the Chargers, although that's probably be a home game for the Bills in LA, but to Arrowhead as well as tough. They're going 2 or 3 of the top 5 AFC teams this year. They'll play them on the road. The 1 neutral site game, as mentioned, week 5, they will play the Jacksonville Jaguars overseas in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Interesting game there. As we all know, the Jacksonville Jaguars basically own real estate in England and in London from all the times they've played over there. So let's dive into the schedule. How do these Buffalo Bills finish 12-5? How do they lock up the 2 seed, winning the AFC East with a division record of 4-2? How does Josh Allen get to MVP? Week 1, we start off with a loss. Yes, lost week 1 to the Jets in New York on 9/11. That's just too much script for Roger Goodell. The Jets ain't losing in New York on 9/11 to open the year with Aaron Rodgers on the other side. 27-24 Jets victory over the Bills in week 1. Week 2, we see the Bills' first home game where they host the Raiders, and they will throttle the Raiders. 27-17, easy victory, moving to 1-1 on the season for the Bills. Week 3, we see them go to Washington and face the football team. Not sure what their quarterback situation looks like week 3. All I know, Roger has the Bills winning 31-14 over the football team in week 3, moving to 2-1 for the Buffalo Bills on the season. So looking to September, they went 2-1 according to Roger in September. I could see that. I for sure think they beat the Raiders. I for sure think they beat the football team. That week 1 matchup with the Jets is tough. I could see them splitting home and home with the Jets and the Dolphins, to be honest, this season. I'd probably agree with Roger, 2-1 after 3 weeks in the month of September, but I could also see 3-0. Obviously, it all comes down to that week 1 victory over the Jets or week 1 loss to the Jets. Excuse me, I'm struggling here. Moving to October, 2-1 after September. They start October hosting the Miami Dolphins, who, spoiler, is going to give them the biggest run in this division this year. They will host the Dolphins in week 4, where they will beat the Dolphins 28-23 in week 4 at home. Another division opponent I think they probably split home and home with, moving to 3-1 on the season with that victory over the Miami Dolphins. Week 5, they go to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium overseas as well, where they will beat the Jacksonville Jaguars in overtime, 27-21 on a Josh Allen scramble after the Jags had the Bills on the ropes to end regulation. Bills get the toss, go down, score, win home. Let's go home. 21-20 or 27-21 in week 5. 4-1 after 5 games. They come back home to face the New York Giants, where they will win yet again 31-21 en route to an easy victory over the Giants. 5-1 after 6 games. We see the Bills go to New England, where they will beat the Patriots pretty soundly, 28-17. Easy game there. I think they sweep the Patriots. I agree with Roger and what he has on the schedule here. Spoiler. Week 8, they will host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Baker Mayfield, where they will cruise to their biggest blowout victory of the season, 34-13. 4 touchdowns total for Josh Allen, 2 touchdowns going to Stephon Diggs. 7-1 after 8 weeks. We see, let's talk about October actually. October, big old month for the Bills, 5-0. 5-0 in the month of October, playing 4 games or 3 games at home, 1 game on neutral site, 1 game in New England, which isn't going to be that tough of a game, let's be honest. 5-0 in the month of October for the Bills. Wow. Nate, you sweating yet? Going to November, this is where things start to get dicey. This month of November is treacherous for the Bills. 4 tough opponents where if you told me any of these 4 teams will make the playoffs, I'd maybe argue with you, but I wouldn't completely disagree. Starting off November, week 9, they travel to Cincinnati. Well, they will lose 31-27 on a late touchdown for the Bengals, securing the victory 31-27. Bills will be 7-2 after 9 weeks. Week 10, they return home to face Russell Wilson, Sean Payton, and the Denver Broncos. Well, they will edge out a 27-21 overtime victory over the Denver Broncos. Week 11, they stay at home to host the New York Jets, where, as I mentioned previously, they probably split home and home. They win at home in week 11, 24-20 in a lower scoring defensive battle at home over the Jets, moving to 9-2 on the season. Week 12, they go to Philadelphia, where they will lose to the Eagles 28-24 behind 3 rushing touchdowns by the Eagles. Roger didn't go into he didn't specify who. I guess he doesn't want us winning. He doesn't want us to bet on anytime touchdown scores. Dick. They will lose to Philadelphia 28-24 in week 12, moving to 9-3 on the season. Got me asking, where's this bye week? 12 weeks in, guys. Where's this bye week? Let's talk about November, 2-2 month. I'd probably agree with that. I see them for sure beating the Broncos. I for sure see them splitting with the Jets, winning their home game, certainly. I'd argue maybe the Eagles, being a Cowboy fan, obviously I'm a homer, so I could see the Bills beating the Eagles. I could see the Bills beating the Bengals as well. It's just tough to say. Roger has them going 2-2. I'd probably agree, because who knows? They could drop one at home to the Broncos. They could drop one at home to the Jets. I'd probably agree 2-2 in November. 9-3 after 12 weeks, 9-3 after 3 months. I think I'd be pretty happy with that as a Bills fan. Week 13, first week in December is where we see their bye week. 9-3 going into the bye, off of a loss. Nice time to get some rest and recovery here, especially when you look ahead to the team they play after the bye. Moving to week 14, they go to Arrowhead, where they will lose to the Chiefs 31-28 on a walk-off Butker field goal. Too much time for Mahomes. They go down and get a score. Heartbreaking and potentially number 1 seed losing field goal and loss for your Buffalo Bills. 9-4 after 14 weeks. They come back home where they will beat my Dallas Cowboys in a horrible weather defensive battle game. They win 21-17 over Dallas in week 15 in Buffalo. 10-4 after 15 weeks. We see them go to LA, where they will win their 3rd overtime game they will play their 3rd overtime game of the year against the Chargers, where they will win 27-21 in overtime over the Chargers in week 16, moving to 11-4 on the season. Week 17, they return home to face the Patriots, where they will blow out New England, finishing their sweep of New England on the season, 31-14. Another 3-touchdown performance for Josh Allen here, helping to secure that MVP winning trophy this season. 12-4 after 17 weeks. Let's talk about December. They have 4 games in December, including the bye. They go 3-1 in December, with the one loss being against the Chiefs. I'd argue this is another tough month for them with the Chiefs, Cowboys, and Chargers. However, they go 2-1 against those 3 opponents, losing the 1 game at Arrowhead. I probably agree with that. I probably agree with Roger there. I think if they're going to lose any of those games, it's probably at Arrowhead, one of the tougher places to play in the league. I think they could have a home atmosphere in LA against the Chargers and the Cowboys late season in December on the road. Being a Cowboy fan, I can tell you I know how that one's going to go. So I probably agree with Roger. I think they beat the Patriots for sure in Buffalo. I think they beat the Cowboys in Buffalo. I think they beat the Chargers in LA while losing to the Chiefs in Arrowhead. 3-1 in December, I probably agree with that. 12-4 after 17 weeks, I'd probably agree with that as well. Bills being one of the best teams in the league. Week 18, whereas I may have these 2 teams fighting for the division and maybe, spoiler, having the same exact record as one another, somehow, some way, the way the tiebreakers add up, the Bills do not need Week 18 in Miami. However, they play their starters because the Bills don't rest anybody ever, except this year, I will add, finally the NFL schedule makers made some sense. Let's let Miami go to Buffalo in October and Buffalo go to Miami in January, versus having Buffalo go to Miami in the scalding heat in October and having Dolphins go to a blizzard in January, December. Thank you, NFL, for finally getting the schedule correct. Week 18, however, rants aside, Buffalo goes to Miami where this game doesn't matter to them. Miami wins 27-20, finishing Buffalo season 12-5, finishing 4-2 in the division, sweeping the Patriots, splitting with both the Jets and the Dolphins, finishing first in the AFC East, number 2 seed in the AFC. Josh Allen MVP for 2023-2024 season. Damar Hamlin is your comeback player of the year 2023-2024. Do you agree with Roger? 12-5? I'd probably say 12-5, 11-6, somewhere in that range. Do you agree with Roger? Do you agree with me? Let us know in the comments, and we will see you guys in the next video.